Welcome to Monster Madness 2018. Today is Maniac Monday, where we'll be tracing the history of slasher movies, mostly those that were forgotten by the sands of time. Slashers changed and defined the horror genre after the end of the 1950s science fiction trend and the 1960s gothic horrors. When people think of the first ever slasher, they usually think of Alfred Hitchcock and his film Psycho. Now, don't get me wrong, Psycho's a great movie, and Norman Bates is one of the greatest horror villains of all time, but Psycho isn't technically the first slasher, and it's not all that close to a slasher at all. Norman Bates may kill a few people, but he only kills one of them deliberately. The other he kills out of necessity, trying to protect himself and his mother from the prying eyes of investigators. For the same reason, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is more of an exploitation movie than a slasher. Leatherface kills to keep his family and his home safe from intruders, just like Norman does. Whether or not you think Psycho is a slasher is up to you, but it certainly isn't the first. That trophy goes to Michael Powell's Peeping Tom from 1960. The movie came out just months before Psycho, but was destroyed by critics and ended up ruining the reputation of the director, which ended up cutting his career short. The movie follows cameraman Mark Lewis as he works on his own secret pet project, a documentary of fear. Mark carries a camera equipped with a blade that he uses to film the faces of women while he kills them in order to capture the fear on their faces. Mark is a genuinely creepy guy, outwardly shy, but really disturbing. You can't ever fully sympathize with him because he's just a creep. Plus, who says birthday like that?
Happy birthday. Birthday present. Happy birthday. Birthday present.
Anyway, Mike lives in his childhood home, now converted into a boarding house where he meets Helen, a nice woman who just wants to get to know him. She kindly invites him to her birthday party, and when he turns her down, she brings him birthday cake, trying to show him affection. He invites her in and tells her about his past. His father was a scientist who studied fear and performed experiments on him when he was a child, all while Mark was being filmed. You kind of feel bad for him, just like you feel bad for Norman Bates, but that all goes away quickly. The movie is shot really unsettlingly, and every scene with Mark in it makes your skin crawl. The way he talks makes me so uncomfortable that I can understand why he doesn't have any friends. This movie was one of the pioneers of the point-of-view shot from the killer. The audience watches Mark's crimes through the viewfinder of his camera. Little did Michael Powell know, but his idea of capturing the killer's viewpoint would become a staple of the slasher subgenre, and one of its most widely known tropes. The movie isn't all that violent, but you couldn't expect much from 1960. Still though, it's a really spooky movie that sticks closer to the slasher genre than Psycho. The killer's motivated to kill only by his own insanity and never kills for a reason that could be defended as self-defense. The killer uses a gimmicky weapon, kinda like Jason's machete or Freddy Krueger's glove. The killer stalks mostly attractive women, especially those that are sexually active. The killer meets his match against a final girl, Helen, who eventually defeats him through emotional strength and intelligence. Peeping Tom is the true granddaddy of slasher movies, and if you're a true fan of the genre, you should give it a try. It may not be full of nudity or creative kills, but it's fun to see the origins of the tropes that we all hold near and dear. Give it a try, even if it's just as a history lesson. And next time someone tries to tell you that Psycho is the original slasher movie, tell them they're wrong. Peeping Tom was the first.